good evening from whichever part of the world you are watching. And today I'm back again with another interesting guest. You all know me, I'm Mona Lisa Joshi, and this is my talk show called Mona Lisa's Talk Show. And I have Ranga Iyer joining all the way from Canada. She has been a lifestyle journalist and now into full fledged writing. So let's welcome her. Hello, ma'am, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you, Mona Lisa, for inviting me to your lovely show. And so honored to be here. And yeah, just looking forward to make it to your, questions. And yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you for inviting me.
The pleasure is all mine, but before we start the Q&A, just tell me how's the weather there? Is it spring? Is it summer?
Ah, it's spring. But even in spring, the lot of weeks after spring also we've been having storm and snow, in fact not heavy but yeah, snowing and cold rain, like freezing rain and everything. Just these 2 days it's been like four, like +4, and but the low is still like very cold, so we still have the heaters on. It'll be another maybe 3 4 weeks before we turn the AC on and turn the heater off. So yeah, pretty much you can understand my voice. It's because of the cold weather. It's a bit chilly, so people love this weather actually. Just wear your blazers and step out. We do it all the time, used to it, but this time it's been a little more colder. How is it for you guys there?
It's very hot. We are almost melting. So we are hoping that you could send some cold here. That would be
Sure, not
lovely.
two extremes. Look at it. We are like continents apart, but yeah, sure. Here, take it, take it. We would love to have some sunshine. Thank you so much. And the warmth. Oh my God, I want not the AC heater warmth, but natural warmth. You can see I'm
Natural.
wearing like a, you know, even when the heater is
Yeah.
on, it's pretty chilly at homes too. So yeah.
Chilly. Okay. Okay, so while introducing you, I just said that you have been a lifestyle journalist with some of the leading newspapers. So I want to know that journey. How did that start? And what was your role as a lifestyle journalist?
So basically, I always wanted to be connected with the written word, and that is what I my desire was. And when you're young, you don't know, like, oh, I can write short stories and become. You have those things, and you write some poetry, something essay, God knows whatever, and then you say, okay, what's the next best option I can have? Then you say, enter a newspaper, ask them for, like, if you can write something for them, and then start your journey. That's how I started my journey. Actually, I started with a just one article for a Hindi magazine called Dharmayug. Avadesh Vyas was the editor. He gave me a chance, and that is how the journey with it was part of the Times of India media group. So that is how I started my journey. Then I started, like, little by little, contributing articles, etc., etc. And then, of course, after many years later, writing freelancing, I got into Bombay Times, and then moved on to Bangalore Times, and that is how the journey began actually. But all the while, I was focusing on writing, and it could be for newspapers, interviewing stars, or doing some local stories, whatever came my way. But my writing was always happening. So I kind of knew that I wanted to write. I think journalism is that escape for writers. Like, go there, write, you see your name, or like, oh, good, 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 something like that. I think that's how I accidentally became a journalist. Yeah, accidentally. It was not intentional. Accidentally, I said, okay, just to stay connected with writing. But I
Right.
still love writing about lifestyle, celebrities, relationships, everything connected to life. I love writing. And currently,
So
it's
are you
like Sustainability is one of the passions. I love writing about sustainability, minimalism. I'm a minimalist. I follow this principle, so all that. Yeah, pretty much.
Wonderful. So, are you still writing for any of the newspapers like in India or maybe Canada? Like,
Yes, Canada, I do contribute to a local magazine called Suhag. It's a South Asian magazine online mostly. They also have a print edition. I do contribute. So I write about fashion, celebrities, weddings, and the whole gamut of topics. Anything the editors want me to write. So I do that. I don't know, my screen is shaky. Is it shaking? Is it okay now?
yeah, while you're speaking, it's moving a bit.
I think I need to change the position of my. You know what? Let me try this. Okay. I think it will be better now. Let's see. I settled it.
Okay, now, first of all, I would like to congratulate you for your debut collection. I think it's a novel or maybe a collection of short stories.
It's a novel.
It's a
It's
novel,
a
right?
proper literary fiction. It's a novel, and yeah. So
So, yeah, so Butterflies of Success came out in September 2024, and I was reading through the blurb, but I want you to tell the audience that what exactly you have portrayed through this book.
thank you so much for introducing my novel. So the focus is on poverty, which is a condition of human beings that don't have money, right? That is the idea. But that is not just about poverty and the troubles and everything at all. When I speak about poverty in my book, I talk about different kinds of poverty: mental poverty, emotional poverty. If you lack sensitivity, you're emotionally poor. If you lack understanding, your emotional quotient is at a lower level, you know. Or if your emotional quotient is like pretty high, but your intelligence is like not matching, then you're poor intelligently, whatever that is. Oh God. Yeah, you're not poor only because you don't have money. That is a resource, but how to use it, you need intelligence. If you don't have how to make it, you need intelligence. So that alone is what I wanted to portray through my characters, because most of my characters, some are emotionally, you know there, very very wholesome. Some lack the emotional depth. Others are mentally so, like, you can say, intelligent, that they know how to use an opportunity and create something out of that opportunity, with money, without money. So that is the crux of my novel. That is why I mentioned poverty is a relative term. It cannot be like, I'm poor. But in what? You're poor in money, you're poor in intellect, you're poor in emotions, you're poor in opportunities. Look where you're poor and try to become rich. We all have resources, right? We do
Yeah.
have air, we do have the earth, we do have a home, or at least somebody, if we don't have a home, to stay in their home for some time, and then, do something with our life. Maybe start helping them and saying, I'll help you for some time. Can you do this? I don't mean to say it is a bartering system or something, but how best we can use whatever is available to create something for ourselves. That is the crux of my book, and each individual is pursuing success in one form or the other. It could be, a desire to have a child, it could be a desire to own a business, or it could be a desire to see the family happy. They're all pursuing success, with money, without money,
Yeah.
without emotions, without intellect. I don't know. All that is in the book. That is exactly what I wanted to portray and tell the world, because everybody says, I came from a poor background. But what background is poor for you when you say that? what is poverty, and that is exactly what my book speaks.
So you are not touching the people below the poverty line. It's like how they are taking the opportunity after, like being
The
poor,
family
but
is
still
definitely
making.
below the poverty line. The family that I have
Okay.
used in the book is below the poverty line, as in, I wouldn't say below the poverty line. They have something in their village, like they're farmers. But then, the usual family tussle is there, the fight is going on for the property, all that. Then, lack of educational opportunities in their village. So, they move to the city thinking, they'll get the children educated, maybe they'll become rich because of that. Different kinds of different things. So, yes, they are poor, and I wanted to show that without anything, when they come to a new place, with the help of whatever little they bring, they bring some money, very little money from their village, how they transfer their skills, use that little money, stretch it over as much as they can while they are building their lives, get employment, send their children to school, and then build an empire. Exactly. Like, a hospital, a huge mall, and whatnot. I mean, I'm talking about the 1970s kind of mall, where you have a general store, or you own a sarika shop, etc., etc. Not like a fancy mall or something. A shopping kind of, few
Right.
stores, retail business, and all, and a restaurant. So that is exactly what I have tried. So below the poverty line, yes. But how they come? They come to Bombay, they are below the poverty line. But they come from there with very little money. Even there, they are not rich. But because of the land and all that, at least they have a house over, a roof over their head, some food, some family network. When they come here, they come with zero. Some money, and that is it. So yeah, definitely poverty, below poverty line, and how they struggle and make it up. Upward mobility. They start in one, what you call barsati. In Bombay, we call it kholi, one room tenement. That is how they start their life in unhygienic conditions, unsanitary conditions. And then from there to how they grow. And it's because of the vision of the lady of the house, because she says, I have to get this settled for my family. That is exactly what I have tried to portray, and I hope I have managed to do that.
Wonderful. So did you have to do some ground research or something to write about these, the kind of subconscious they might be having, the psychology of the people, of the poverty, how they are managing, coping. So how did you do all that?
I lived in that place for 22 years actually. I lived in the place, the location I have used for my novel, Thakurli, for 22 years of my life with those people, the local natives, followed by
Right.
migrants who come there to work. My family was little kind of, we went to schools, so we had some jobs, some government jobs, etc. So you can say, like, in that setup, there were some families like us. We were like, okay, earning some money. We had gone to school, were graduates, my sisters and all. But we still had to move around with these people. They were our neighbors. We celebrated all festivals with them. We went to their homes. They came to our homes. We did not think like, oh my God, it's so dirty. When you're kids, this doesn't register,
Right.
You just go there, have fun, like build maybe mitti ka ghar or something, and then enjoy your life with them. So these are the observations I absorbed, and it kind of stayed with me. And then I used all the memories, everything that happened, like even now I have so many memories, so many things I had to leave because it was not connecting with the story I wanted to tell. A lot of incidents, childhood, then as teenagers, plenty, plenty. And most of the stuff we saw, what I saw growing up and my family, I have tried to use that as my research and incorporate it in my novel. So I wouldn't call it as a memoir, but rather like, the observations I absorbed are more like the research that an author does for their novels. And that is how I have used it. People ask me if it's a memoir. It is not a memoir. Because, I didn't, the only luxury I had was I did not have to go to that place, live my life there to experience. It came from my neighborhood. I was really fortunate to be part of that life and get my imagination, such a rich imagination because of the life observations, everything. So, as far as research, that is what I would say my experience living, absorbing helped me to write the novel.
Interesting. Okay, so have you published this novel from India or is it from Canada?
Oh, the publisher is Hybro Scribes, Vandana Bhatia Palli. She's from Delhi. So she has been kind enough to publish it for me, and a beautiful person. I mean, a young lady, very, very, very. I wouldn't be here talking to you today if she had not published it for me. So yeah, thanks to Vandana. You know, it's yeah.
So I want to ask one question here that since you are residing in Canada for such a long time now, did it not occur to you that how will you travel in case it is like getting published there? So for the PR and everything, like people, like writers, they have to go for readings, for book signings. So how do you manage that?
I did not plan these things really because I had no clue how things happen in publishing, I had no clue. All I knew was I have the story, I have to publish it, and I have to get it out to the world so that they read it. Nothing was thought
Right.
about. Having said that, I also said most of the things these days, fingertips, smartphone and get it done. It's not that difficult to achieve these things if I need to do it. And I said, worst case scenario or best case scenario, if I have to travel, that doesn't really take too much. Just travel for a few days and come back.
Right.
So, but I did not think of those things at all. And so far, I have been very lucky because most of my stuff has been online. The request for interviews, the reviews, I get it on email, the questions, and I send, replies. And everything has been online so far. If it comes to like traveling, well, I don't know, maybe I will. Or if I can do something like this, that would be awesome.
That's wonderful. Okay, so I also read that you are working on your second novel. So I want to know that again you are going to raise some societal issue or it's like something different this time. If you want to give out, of course.
What is the question? What am I going to approach?
I was going through your profile and I noticed that you are also working on your second book. So I just want to know that are you again trying to portray some societal issue or it's something different this time?
It will always be societal issue because I don't know anything better. I'm not very, because my lifestyle is also pretty much connected to social issues like sustainability, minimalism, and I don't know how to say this, but yeah, a lot of these social things, poverty, education, especially. Why people are not educated, not as in getting big certificates or degrees from different colleges, etc. But it's just a matter of, educating self to understand how to make your life in the world without feeling, you're a victim, without feeling how to come out of yourself and make yourself stronger, like emerge out of situations and become, think what you want, even the worst of the scenarios you can still hold on to yourself and become something. So that I'm very passionate about introspection, self development, and all kinds of things, because if your inner core is not strong, Nothing outside from the outside can make you, you know. We also say, it didn't happen because of this. I wish I had that. You're always putting the blame on others. So inside, so I'm always fond of these things. So my novels and my writing will always reflect such issues. So my second novel, sorry, I went on a longer
That's
explanation.
fine.
But the thing is, the second novel will also is also following some of these patterns of life, transformation of situations, transforming self, and transforming the surrounding as much as you can around you, without feeling sorry for yourself, without feeling, this, that. And I'm not saying this because, I have everything or I don't have anything. I have all of us have our issues. We are all fighting every day, regardless of how multi-billionaire you are or zero figure you have. It's a struggle to maintain something and to create something. You have to maintain. You don't have, you have to create. So Rosemara, it is a
Right.
struggle now for all of us. It is a struggle. It's not like health issues, everything, mental, emotional, loneliness, sab kuch. What are you going to do about these things? Just sit and like, oh God. No, that is what I want people who read my novels, who read my writings to say, nay, I can take charge. What I was yesterday, done, gone. I am that person. Of course, it is going to take, if you wasted like only blaming yourself, blaming others, I don't know, all that. ठीक है. But today you start, it will take you maybe 10 years, but at least you're on a path to progress now. You're trying to develop yourself, take charge so that others are not burdened by you. You don't get burdened by others. Keep it clean, keep it simple. And that is a message I will always give people, not women, not men, people in general, all genders, That is what. If a child is going to get inspired because the mother read or the father read or the sister read or the brother read and informed, I'll be happy. Self improvement, introspection, make your core stronger. Own up to your mistakes. We all have bad moods, bad days. We speak ill of somebody. Then we realize be responsible to own up. Otherwise, you're such a weak person. The thing is to conquer your weaknesses and emerge. जो भी weakness हो, we all have, yeah, come on. Two sides of the coin. If I appear like this, I definitely have another side where I'm not this. So all of us. But I can always apologize to you in privacy, right? It's okay. You're also that person, I'm also. So we keep doing that. So take responsibility. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel shy to say sorry, to be responsible, to become a better person. You agree?
Absolutely. So the anywhere do you want to, like in the future maybe, would you like to, write something on like feminism or like women oriented stories or issues? Does that kind of incline you?
Since I belong to that gender, my sensitivities and sensibilities are aligned with that kind of emotions, you know. So I think I can understand on a scale of like 1 to 10, women centric and women sentiments, women feelings, 10 on 10. But I don't want to be only, uh, favoring or, women and oh, women kind of a thing. Because the feelings we have, the same feelings men go through too. Just that the way they react, the way they, portray themselves, I don't know, the social pressures or whatever it is. It's just that they are much more controlled, perhaps, and they don't do like how we do, but they go through the same pains, na? Emotionally, they also get hurt. Mentally, they know their limitations but cannot speak openly because society expects something out of them. Or you cut, you feel the pain, they feel the pain. It's all same. But having said that, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, whatever little understanding I have of the other gender, like I might like 4 or 5 maybe. That will be the thing. But yes, women centric mostly because I understand, how it is, right? We can relate to the problems. If I tell you something about what I'm facing, you will understand. If you tell me, I'll understand. Only that relatability, because we'll look at it from the same angle as the same gender, whereas the men will look at it differently. And they'll be like, what, you're making a big fuss of it, you know? So that is the only thing. But yes, yes, yes. Women mostly because I belong to the gender and I have experienced life, I have lived that life. Very simple. And I'm passionate. I want women to emerge stronger. I want them to not feel victimized, not feel weak. I want, they can feel weak. Oh my God, they can feel weak, but try to grow that weakness into strength. Just convert that weakness into strength. Try, you can do it. Maybe not 100%, but of the 100% weakness, even if you do like 10 or 20%, you're good. It helps self realization. That's it.
Right. So, do you have your book with you? Would you
Oh,
like to read?
ye dekho. Okay. I'll just pick a random something. Oh, while sipping on the tea and bhajiyas, Prem and Mukta asked him about his family's food preferences and their spice tolerance levels. This is, the protagonist Mukta. She gets an order to cook for someone else, and that is how the seed for starting a business is. She gets that idea, and she starts this little, ghar ka khana kind of a tiffin service, and then they grow from there. This is the one. So yeah, that little thing, because she's cooking whatever the food is from their village. The person comes for some work to their home because the husband also does some stitching work. He comes to collect his dresses or whatever, and he can smell the aroma of the food being cooked. So he comes and says, "Can you cook for my family?" Because his mother and father, they're old. He's not married. He has to work. That is how she gets her first order, and then she becomes big. Just say being herself, just being doing what she knows best. She achieves everything for her family. Thank you. You're so generous with your time. You helped me find this book. Because we've been doing a lot of shifting from up and down. Like I tried clearing spring now. So spring cleaning, we start like shifting stuff, etc. Otherwise, I always have this by my side. I forgot. Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No worries, don't worry. That was totally fine. Okay, another thing I want to ask you that since you have been into writing for such a long time, so why did it take? I mean, you just told me that stories were inside you, poetry was inside you, and you just wanted, some medium. That's why you took up to journalism. And I want to ask that why it take you so long to write a novel?
Um, Now the woman thing comes. What happens is we women, we have families to take care of. We manage our lives. We have to do so many things before we can even think of ourselves as people or individuals. All the time, it was there that, I want to write, I want to write. But the layers were like so many: family, maintaining the family, managing the family, earning for the family, supporting everything. And it was buried somewhere deep down. And then when I hit my mid 50s, then things were settling. Like, my son, children, they started moving on, and life partners and everything, and all kinds of different things, like what happens in life. Then I found time for myself, not just because I found the time for myself. Even now, the demands will be like, that. But I said, no, somewhere I have to draw the line, because this need, when you have a family, they're going to need you mentally, emotionally, every time, all the time, till your last breath. So somewhere I have to create a boundary, and I have to do justice to who I am and what I am, and see if I make a success of what is in me. Like how Mukta, she just did what she wanted. She was always cooking what she wanted, and she got that opportunity. Similarly, I said, Ranga, it is time for you to be yourself, do what you want. And there were consequences, because I couldn't earn the money. And without earning, it is difficult to manage life. So, because I'm self reliant and not much of like tons of savings and all that, whatever, right? The usual, whatever middle class problems we have. So I
Yeah.
still took that brave decision, and I said, no, it is do or die situation for me. Of course, the book, it's not going to make me a millionaire, but I'll have the satisfaction that I did what I wanted to do all these years, because all these years I've been like, somewhere that, the thing, link what you think you are, it's missing. I might have $0, but I feel wholesome, I feel full, I feel satisfied. And that satisfaction reflects in happiness, in my interactions with family, in everything that I do. Now it is a healthy balance, and that is what I did. Of course, it takes time. I collected all that writing, whatever I had to do. When I started the book, I was still working a little bit here, a little bit there, retail and photo studio assistant and whatnot. So it took me time. Finally, when I turned like 58, I said, you know what? It's time that I only focus on this and not apply for jobs. I lost my job. I took that as an opportunity, and I said, I'm not going to look for any jobs, but write. Wrote. I mean, I had the draft. I cleaned, cleared, and, organized, and then sent it to publishers. It took me like time to get back. They got back to me, and the editing and everything. It took another 2 years. So just when I turned like 60, 61, the novel came out last year, September 2024. And then now it is out, and people are like appreciating. I see the reviews, and that's how I know. I don't know about, I haven't interacted with any reader yet, but the reviews are pretty positive. And yeah, the first
Yeah.
one was Namrata, from Kenya. She really set the ball rolling, because I was surprised that such a young lady could relate and align with what I'm trying to tell the world. And that amazed me. And that gave me the courage to actually focus on my second book also. Otherwise, I was like, pata nahi. I've done what I had to do. I thought I want to do. Now I'll look for other things or whatever. But that again encouraged me. And then I see that, you people like you are taking an interest and talking to me. That is fantastic. I think I need that support. And thank you so much to all the reviewers, to you, to all the people that is showing some faith in me and thinking that, I can do something. That is what I feel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we all face this, no, like when to do what we really want to do, right? I'm sure
Yeah.
all, not just women, but even men, right? There must be that
That,
chakra, like in the cycle of life. they don't get to do what most people don't get to do when they settle. There are many fortunate ones who get to do everything they want to do and balance everything, but some of us don't. So I'm one of those. And I got the opportunity. I'm so grateful to the world, to the universe. Oh my God, so grateful.
That's lovely to know, and I'm sure it's going to be an inspiring, this interview to many women out there, and especially like writing, who are into writing or whatever art form they are doing. It's difficult to balance. Okay, so
Yeah.
last thing I would
Basically,
like to.
creativity, no? It is like we are serving the community.